The Pope's health has generated a wave of speculation, keeping all the media on tenterhooks about his evolution. In Rome, more than 200 foreign journalists, in addition to those authorized by the Vatican, are attentive to every news about his state of health. Even if he recovers, rumors circulate that he had already requested his retirement before being hospitalized. The Pope came to the Vatican to cover up a series of rumors about child abuse, and it seems that he succeeded. However, he is now immersed in an institutional crisis due to a series of financial scandals and internal corruption issues, as well as the departure of many parishioners. Rumors have arisen about pressures to hold a conclave, which is the meeting of the College of Cardinals of the Catholic Church to elect a new pope. The last conclave took place in 2013, when Jorge Mario Bergoglio was elected pope under the name of Francis, succeeding Benedict XVI. Several candidates are being considered as possible successors to the pope. One of the favorites is Pietro Parolin, Secretary of State and a person very close to Pope Francis. He is also Italian, which is significant since it has been more than 45 years since there has been an Italian pope. Other two favorites are the Filipino, Luis Antonio Tagle, age 67, and the Hungarian Cardinal Peter Erdo, age 72. Also, there are two Africans, Peter Turkson, age 76 from Ghana, and Robert Shera from Guinea, age 79. It should be noted that Africa is the only continent that is growing in number of faithful, because in Europe and America they have decreased a lot. Curiously, all these possible changes coincide with the Jubilee, which is celebrated every 25 years and is a moment in which the Church carries out profound reforms. The last Jubilee was in 2000. The 2025 Jubilee began, officially, on December 24, 2024, and will end on January 6, 2026, and is celebrated with events throughout the year. The celebration begins with the opening of the Holy Doors. Although there are 8, only 4 are opened every 25 years at the beginning of the Jubilee. On December 24, 2024, St. Peter's Basilica opened its Holy Door, which will not close until January 6, 2026, the Feast of the Epiphany of the Lord, and will not open again for another 25 years in 2049. After the opening of this door, also known as the Door of the Great Forgiveness, on December 29th, the door of the Basilica of St. John Lateran was opened. On January 1, 2025, the door of the Basilica of St. Mary Major was opened. And finally, on January 5th, the one in St. Paul outside the walls was opened. The opening of the Holy Doors dates back to the 15th century, although this ritual has its origins in Judaism. These doors, located in the 4 major basilicas of the city, are opened exclusively during the Jubilee years, which are periods of grace instituted by the Catholic Church. In addition to the pilgrimage to Rome and the visit to the papal basilicas, the crossing of the Holy Door is one of the most famous rites performed by the faithful who participate in a Jubilee year and thus obtain the indulgence, which is the forgiveness of sins. Although in this Jubilee only the doors of the Roman basilicas will be opened, there are at least 4 other churches around the world. There are 2 more in Italy, one in the Basilica of Santa Maria di Colomaggiore, in the city of L'Aquila, and another in the Cathedral of the Assumption of Mary of Atri, which open their doors a few days a year. In Spain, there is another holy door in the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, in Galicia, which opens its holy door in a holy year, and this happens when July 25th, the Feast of St. James, falls on a Sunday. And finally, in Canada, there is that of the Basilica Cathedral of Notre Dame de Quebec, which is the only one outside Europe. Everything points to the Jubilee of 2025 bringing about very important changes within the Church. Of course, whenever a change of pope is foreseen, the famous prophecies of St. Malachi, 2 texts published in 1595 and 1690 in Venice by the Belgian Benedictine monk Arnold Wyan, historian of his order, are said to have been written by the Catholic Archbishop Saint Malachy of Armagh, born in 1094. The prophecy is constituted in a series of 112 small mottos or phrases in Latin, without numbering, making allegorical allusion to the following popes that would govern the Catholic Church from Celestine II in the 12th century, until a last pontiff whose motto would be Petrus Romanus or Peter II the Roman, to which a vague quote of apocalyptic character is added. In principle, the prophecy is correct in the description of the figures of the popes before 1595. However, from that date, most is very generic, giving rise to various interpretations which can be coupled to any pope. For this reason, the Jesuit Claude-François Menestrier of the 17th century argued that this alleged prophecy was a fraud. So the Catholic Church rejected the prophecy of Malachi, however, never banned its dissemination or study. In fact, there have been several popes who have referred to their slogans. What is most striking about the prophecies is the 112th motto of the last pope, which is accompanied by the following text. He will sit in the last persecution of the Holy Roman Church, Peter, the Roman who will feed the sheep in many tribulations, after which the city of the 7 hills will be destroyed and the terrible judge will judge his people. All those who have studied this prophecy agree that the final part of the text speaks of some catastrophic event, and everything points to it being of a religious character. On the other hand, when it mentions the destruction of the city of the 7 hills, the text is very ambiguous, since it can refer to Rome, Jerusalem, or any other city. As we see, the prophecies of the popes, like those of Nostradamus with the Black Pope, can give rise to different interpretations, according to the interests of each one. This makes that many catastrophist prophecies are encouraged so that, among all of us, we co-create them and they become true. There is no doubt that the foundations of the Catholic Church are crumbling. There is a great internal crisis, and the discontent of many Catholics is reflected outside. In recent years, there has been a huge drop in the number of parishioners, and not only in Latin America, which has fallen by 30%, but also in Europe, the decline has been brutal. Of course, this implies a very important drop in the Vatican's income. Fewer faithful, less money. As we can see, difficult years are coming for the Vatican. There are many older parishioners who will be disappearing, so it is the young people who mark the future of the Church, and that future looks quite black. It does not matter for the Church if Pope Francis gets better from his illness, because if he does, he will surely be granted the retirement he has requested. So everything points to the fact that they are already thinking of a replacement to cover up the financial scandals and the internal corruption of the Vatican. Coincidentally, all this coincides with the end of the Kali Yuga in the year 2025, which we already talked about in a video that you can see in our YouTube channel. A new pope, in addition to the recent rise of Trump to the presidency, would lead to the beginning of a new stage in which there will be many changes worldwide.